it as well. Championships have been won and lost here. Do you know what? I don't know if I was on mute just then because I think I moved my mic towards the right hand side. So I don't think I was fully unmuted because I muted myself with the PlayStation controller. I did the intro. So I'll start with the intro again if I didn't do it first time, just because I don't think I muted myself on for my mic and the PlayStation controller. So welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Jamie Morris and we're here for the Brazilian Grand Prix for TTM versus NLR for the 10v10 race here in Association Brazil. And here we are into Lagos, and Nordic Ninja hesitant going into turn 4, and unfortunately for him, immediately invalidates out of turn 4. Just too much exit there, too much curb on the exit, and it's cost him an invalidation then, and we'll have to sit one out and try and go again. Haven't really prepared myself because I wasn't supposed to be doing commentary, because for those who are watching right now, I'm currently ill. And the game audio is a bit loud, so I might have to turn it down. Bear with me for a few seconds. I can barely hear myself talking at the moment, so let me turn it down for a bit. There we go. So hopefully it's not too loud in my ears because I can barely hear myself talk. But we'll go on board with Flopman then, as I'm already on board with him. Headed through the double-hander at turn 6 and turn 7 into the slow speed corners now. Into turn 8 and turn 9, really important as well to get traction on the exit. Now coming into the difficult break zone at turn 10, and Felix Swan sets the fast lap with a 7.5, so that's the benchmark. They all have to be. Hello Harley, I know you're going to be representing NLR as Flopman makes his way down into John Sao. Morgan Edwards goes into P2, but you can see the power slide out of John Sao. Hello Christian Clausen, hopefully you're doing alright mate. Out of John Sao for Flopman there, so might cost him a bit of time, but these are early laps of course, so not really representative to what we're going to see later on. Here comes Flopman, goes second place, so Thomas Covers goes into P1 with a 7.1, and Daddlepad goes into P2. Now Pablo replaces them all, and he's currently the first man in the 610 with a 6.9. What lap times are we looking for around here? I actually can't remember. I do remember the last game, but this game is unknown because I haven't really done many laps myself on this F1 24 game. Former league racer, of course, on F1, but I haven't done any league racing 24 or barely done any laps, so I'm not quite sure how these cars work, to be honest. But you can see that Koolman using all the curb on the exit there, and we'll see then out of the final corner we go with the DRS wide open, a bit of overtake as well to power his way down the straight. Let's see what lap time he can get set, and it's P3 ahead of a Daddlepad then in P4. So there's your early initial lap times. They're still waiting for people to get off the bench, as Spicer now is one of them making his way towards the line. He goes into P3 with a 7.2, so close times there between the boys there, P3, P4, Koolman and Spicer. And by the way guys, just want to let you know that if I do go silent for like a few seconds or so, if I'm talking and it goes silent, that's because I'm coughing in the background. I'm on mute because I'm currently ill so far. I've got a blocked nose, a sore throat and a very bad cough. So also, if you do hear me struggling talking, that's because I want to cough. So just bear with me tonight. It won't be the perfect stream. It won't be the perfect commentary. I will make mistakes, but it looks like Wiener goes into P1 with a 6.9 there. So the TTM 1-2 so far, and it's a 6.9, which puts him 600s quicker than Pablo P2. So TTM currently 1-2 so far, as we've got more to get off the bench there. We've got Luca down there, P17. Looks like he's already gone for a lap time. Judging by the ERS state, he's already down to 8%. So his first lap must have made a mistake or invalidated. So he's going to go for it again. There's the TF10 driver. I'm going to presume he's in NLR, is Sky 9. He powers his way out of John Sao now. And different ERS modes, of course, for this game, as majority of drivers are in the pit lanes then. The first run is completed, and we've got Sky 9 ready to make his way on the leaderboard. Goes into P13, so two of the slowest times so far, as Morgan Edwards down to P14 would dearly love to improve on his lap time. Luca, here he is then in the green car, but he'll make his way back in the pit lane because of his lap time. Was already validated, sorry. So here is Tom. So his first lap also validated too, but he has stirred up and saved EOS there. So with 8 minutes already gone in this session, we've got NLR Tom one of the 5 drivers won't set a lap time just yet, and he's invalidated there, so we'll see what he could do. But here comes Nordic Ninja now, using all the curb into turn 3, hooking the inside line into 3 before we open the DRS on the retro posture straight. In the background comes out Placky in P12 there. Here comes Nordic Ninja into turn 4 we go. We've seen a lot of people struggle there, especially on the turning. It looks like the car just all of a sudden snaps as well. All of a sudden snaps going into turn 4 as we make our way now up towards the right hand. Here we go. Yeah, I think you go flat out of the exit of it and slight lift off on the entry there as we make our way now in to the slow speed corners. They're really important to pick up the traction as well. Lockups everywhere here and there as we exit turn 10 we go. Now downhill into turn 11 we go. Easy flat before we approach another braking zone into Junsao. A lot of people do get caught out in Junsao, especially on the exit there. Maybe they take too much curb on the inside or pick up the throttle a bit earlier than expected. But we'll see what Nordic Ninja lap time has got in store for us. Is it in the 6s? Is it pole? And it isn't. Oh, that was so close there for Nordic Ninja. And he slots himself into P3. So 600s there separated P1 and P3 as Thomas Covers as well also is out of the pit lane. 1/10 up in the first sector is Thomas Covers as he flies uphill then, ready for the braking point, stamps the brake. Did he go a bit deep there into turn, I think it's 7, and he might have compromised himself into 8 then, so might have lost a little bit of time in that sequence, and we'll carry that all the way down through. So let's see if he's up or down in that middle sector as he hits the intermediate split, and he's still a 10th up in that first sector, in middle sector, but might have lost a bit of time in the first sector due to going just a bit out wide. But you can recover it as well because it's not really such a difficult corner where you lose time because you hit the left-hander immediately. Here comes Thomas Covers towards line at 6.9 again, so that's 4 drivers in the 6.9. In my mirror goes into P6. We saw him taking the tightest line through there to try and minimise the time distance towards the checker flag, and he goes into P6 there. So really close lap times popping in, but they all have to be at 6.9 from P1 there. So let's see then elsewhere on the track. We've got Luca, who hasn't set a lap time just yet, and neither has Tom. Tom is still in the pit lane. Snipers in P18 also hasn't got a lap time on the board, but those 3 or those 2 are currently out there so far as we've got more people exiting the pit lane to start a final lap very shortly. So here comes Luca through that middle split to sect, and let's see what he does. A 50.5. I didn't quite click what other people did in the middle sector because I wasn't really paying attention, but my bad. And Spicer says I can already report 2 drivers to slipstream. So it turns out people call slipstream, and here comes Luca. Might get a bit of a tow off the back of the car ahead of him. He goes into P5 ahead of Spicer, who's currently on his own lap complaining about people who are giving a tow to each other, which is not allowed in the rules. And Pepine, the Dutchman, in 13th place there, moving out of the way as he's not on a lap time then. So look at the lovely engine as well. Pablo in P4, Daddlepad in P5, Luca Lip in P6 there as we watch Snipe invalidate his lap time. So one of the 2 drivers who haven't set a lap time just yet, and looks like he's currently struggling on the track. NLR Ryan on the retro posture straight then, DRS wide open for him, currently sat in P11, just on the fringes or outside the top 10, and he's already improved by a 10th there. Did he hesitate a bit going down into turn 4? As the car behind him is Reeve, trying to get temperature into his tyres, of course. That's Nordic Ninja, who is just behind us in the white car. But here comes Ryan, flying on top of the hill. He's got one of his teammates ahead of him, so we'll dearly look to get his teammate out of the way there. NLR versus TTM. And let's see then one of the 9 drivers working well to get out of the way. As Frank currently goes into P5, a former ILT driver, and he is now in NLR, so let's see how he does in NLR. But 50.3, watch out for Ryan there, because that's a good middle sector. Could he get himself inside of the top 5 or 6? We'll find out. But it looks like the clouds are starting to gather in as well, so weather might affect this circuit like it did in 2022. But here comes Ryan then, making his way to his pole. It's a 6.8. What a lap time. And he goes ahead of Ween in P2, but he's coming a few hundreds down in the first sector. Here he is through the middle sector. He's a 10th down on Ryan's best middle sector, which is a 50.3. So not currently improving. And Junsao, the last sector, is basically one corner. And can he find a 10th in the one corner? No, he can't, because let's see what he does then. I thought to go back in the pit lane, but here he is across the line now. It's a 6.8. And he did find a bit of time in that last sector. And a Nordic Ninja invalidates his lap time 6 tenths down anyway in the first sector, so must have had a horrible turn 1, 2 or 3 as Frank is back in the pit lane. Carlitos in the TTM car has invalidated, but he's low on fuel anyway, so he'll make his way back in the pit lane. Flopman there, clipped all floppy out of John Sao, and he is currently on a lap time quite low on fuel, quite low on ERS, and let's see, he's in the pit lane then, so will not complete that flying lap. Morgan Edwards is currently going towards the pit lane then, so he will not improve either. But elsewhere, let's see what's going to happen. And Nordic Ninja is invalidated his lap time, sorry, but he's going to go for another one, so we'll see what he could do there. Pablo attempt down the first sector, but also validates his lap time. So plenty of validations started to affect the drivers, and we're coming towards the latter stages of qualifying. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, navigated really well by Nordic Ninja. Now DRS as we power our way down into turn 4. We're seeing plenty of overtaking action in turn 4, especially between Verstappen and Hamilton back in 2021. Nordic Ninja currently a few hundreds down the first sector, but plenty of time to be gained in this middle sector. You got a lot of corners as well, high speed, mid speed, slow speed corners to find the time, but you can see him power drifting through there, and Nordic Ninja unfortunately invalidates his lap time. So that will count for nothing for Nordic Ninja. He has got enough fuel left in the car to go for one more potential run, so a brand new set of softs for him, and a trip to the pit lane is required there for Nordic Ninja, currently sat in P3. And Koolman then, let's see what he could do, currently down in P12 with a 7.2 and 500 away from in my mirror, but already Koolman has put some time in his pocket in the first sector there. So let's see if he could continue this. With 5 minutes left to go in the session, majority of drivers are in the pit lane getting ready for the final moments here in qualifying. They all have to be a 6.8 set by the NLR man of Ryan. Daniel Pad makes his way out of the pit lane to go for an outlap then, so he's one of the earliest ones on the scene to get out of the pit lane. Some people like to leave it very late, some people like to get out earlier, because this is a short track, by the way. This track is only 4.3 kilometers long, and Koolman 2 tenths up. Oh, a bit wide there, unfortunately. Koolman has invalidated his lap time, so that will count for nothing. Oh, Koolman, 50.4. That could have put him into the top 4 if he kept it within the track limits, the brutal track limits around this circuit, and unfortunately was not able to keep it within the white lines. Papine, has he just completed a lap to go P13? I think he has. Yes, he has. So P13 only for him. Mr. Snipes down in P20. Let's see, a 50. Nah, he's not a lap time. That's a 50. That's a 59. That's 9 seconds away from the best. But look like he's going to go for a flying lap time. Sky9 is out there on the circuit. He's third up the road. Into turn 3 he goes. So Sky9 down in P18, unfortunately, with a 7.7. But with this final moment of qualifying, and he's almost a 10th up in the first sector, is Sky9. So desperate improvements there, but unfortunately not enough for the first sector. But we still got a second split and the last split. Qualifying has absolutely flown by. We're waiting for majority of drivers to make their way out of the circuit before we can spice things up here in Brazil, in Interlagos, Sao Paulo, one of the iconic racetracks around here. Championships have been won and lost around here too. Not going to mention which, of course, but anyways, I'm going to mention which corner it is, which is this corner here in Junsao. The 51.0 for Sky9, so he's 6 tenths away from the fastest middle sector we've seen so far. So Sky9 looks like he's really struggling around here in Brazil, unfortunately. So let's see where his battle is, and it's in the pit lane. I think Sky9 has enough lap. I don't know. It's dip and tuck between the timing there, but looks like somebody was in the way. Might have picked up a cheeky slipstream. That's Daniel Pad. He goes into P6 there, and not close enough to get inside the sixes where everybody else is. So currently in 6th place with a 7.0. Thomas Cover's out there, but he's not on a lap time, so he must have made a mistake on that lap because he hasn't validated. So we'll see if his second attempt on this set of soft compound tyres is better. There they are, the tyre graphic there. So Daniel Pad went for, has already completed a lap, of course, on them set of soft compound tyres. But with 2 minutes left in this session, let's see which driver has it in them to take pole away from Ryan, or can Ryan maintain a pole position. The main contenders are on the circuit. This track, action packed, engines roaring, and we'll see then what happens. And Mr. Snipes in P20, unfortunately, is really struggling down there. And Thomas Kofer's there. A few hundreds up in the middle in the first sector. That could be very handy to try and get P3 away, but we know time can be gained in the middle and last sector. Then as this sweeps its way through, you don't even need to break through there anymore. It's just a slight lift off. I didn't even know. Sometimes, like in this game, there's so much grip in this game in the high speed corners. You could just flick the car in without using the brakes. I thought I saw a lap from somebody at the British GP in Silverstone, and they went through Stowe by lifting off. They didn't even need to dab on the brakes there. But Thomas Covers is a tenth and a half up, but he needs to find more time in this last sector. Is there anything Thomas Covers could do? What about a cheeky slipstream there from his teammates, of course? Flotman has crashed in turn one. Mr. Slice gone, but Thomas Covers snatches pole away by Ryan. What a mighty middle the last sector that was from Thomas Covers. And Ryan a few hundreds down the first sector. Ween is coming towards the end of the first sector, a few hundreds up as well. We'll stay on board with Ryan because he's the closest out there, I believe, but there's more drivers in front of us. Every single driver except the three that have retired is out on the circuit then, so this track is hot at the moment. Pablo goes up into P5 for TTM. And currently, I think NLR are winning this battle because majority NLR boys are inside the top 10. Here comes Ryan. That's a mighty middle sector there from Ryan. A 50.2. And we'll see. Can he take pole away from his fellow NLR driver in P1? They don't mind, of course. They're not fighting for a driver's championship. This is a team event. So let's see where Ryan can go. Can he take pole away? And he can't. It's a 6.794, which is about 15 hundredths away. If my mathematics are correct, are they? 1400s away. That's close. It's close. Thomas Covers is in TTM. Should have known, but I didn't do any research. But Pablo goes into P4, so he displaces Nordic Ninja, who's already crossed the line. What about Ween? He goes into P3. In my mirror is not a lot of time. Frank is about to cross the line. He goes into P6, does the Polish bird, only 100 away from Nordic Ninja. Anybody else out there looking to improve? Pepine goes into P7. That's a great lap time there from the Dutchman. And what about Koolman in P11? He's in the pit lane. Felix one struggling out there. He just popped up a place, didn't he? He's in P17. So I think that's qualifying done and dusted. I don't think nobody's out there to challenge the top three. By the way, guys, because majority have now joined this stream, I want to point out that I am ill at the moment, so if I do make any mistakes or start stuttering or start coughing, just bear with me. I know I said it more than once or twice, but more people are joining the stream, so I don't want you to think that I'm not doing a good job, because I'm trying my absolute best to try and talk throughout the whole of it. It is difficult to talk with a blocked nose, sore throat and a cough, but we move. There was no other commentators to cover it, so I thought I had to do it. And by the way, if I do go silent for a few seconds, that's because I'm coughing in the background. I do mute my mic whilst I'm coughing, so I don't want you guys to hear it. If you hear a few sniffles from me, apologies about that one. But anyways, it's Thomas Covers then driving for TTM, and they snatch pole away from NLR, who's currently in P2. Hopefully you all enjoy the stream. I'm trying my absolute best to commentate, which is quite hard. Don't know what I'm doing actually. I'm trying to do something, but I forgot. They're by 1500s and Ryan P2. Separated further back by 500s is Ween in P3, Pablo P4, Nordic Ninja P5. There's the top 10. I can't pronounce them all because the time is about to end, but it's quite close to the top. We'll see what happens here in Brazil. I'm going to take a quick break to recover my voice. I hope you all enjoy the stream. And once again, I do apologise if you hear any coughing, sputtering or anything. I'm trying my absolute best to try and talk for the whole of it. It is quite difficult, but I'm trying. And we'll see what this race has to present to us, as it's a 25% race for both races. As a 50% race will take a long time, especially for between Silverstone and Brazil. But this time tomorrow, boys, I know majority of you won't like me saying this, I will be drunk at this time tomorrow, At this time, 8 o'clock, it's England versus Spain. I don't know if I should have promoted that or not, but anyways, I'm going to say it anyway because I'm excited. Can't wait to get down the pub and get smashed. I'm going to say something else there, but I can't say it on stream. But yeah, who's going to win, England or Spain? Obviously, as a Brit myself, I hope it's England. But I'm very nervous, because I think Spain will have a chance against us in the semi-finals, of course. Majority of league races I know that run on a Sunday 8 p.m. have been cancelled, unfortunately. And yeah, obviously that's been cancelled because everybody wants to watch the semi-finals. The match, sorry, there's the word I'm looking for. Don't know if I have any Spanish fans in the chat or English fans in the chat too. I think majority of like German, Dutch, Austrian, Norwegian. I think Harley, you're a Brit, aren't you? So you'll be winning England on. But I'll take a short break before we get to the formation lap and get racing underway here in Brazil. What an iconic venue this is. Plenty of overtaking opportunities as well. And we'll see a lot of strategical calls will be made here as well in Brazil. Try and keep the other teams behind. And we are underway for the Silverstone Grand Prix then here in Brazil. And looks like we've got a better start than Thomas Covers. We go down the inside, it's 3 abreast into turn 1. There's Ryan as well. Looks like we've got out wide. Thomas Covers in second, and Ryan from P3 to P1 takes the lead of the race. And they went 3 abreast and on the outside was Ween. He couldn't do anything about it, of course, being on the outside and nowhere to go other than off the track. But here he is then. Nordic Ninja goes down the inside. Well, he made 2 moves for 1 there, side by side. A bit of barging between the two. There's contact there between the two, and Nordic Ninja has been sent off flying into the barriers. We saw that back in 2009 and a virtual safety car. Oh, somebody almost lost the car there. But what actually Pat's first few calls out was a bit argy-bargy between all of these guys, and hopefully everything settles down now. Oh yeah, by the way guys, I can't change the audio, so if you're unsatisfied with the audio for some reason, I can't shift it towards party or non-audio, so please help me with that if you can, if you know what the problem is. But what a first lap that was. The cars are a bit loud, so we might not be able to hear me talk here. But back in 2009 we saw a crash between Jarno Trulli, Fernando Alonso, Jarno Trulli, Fernando Alonso and Adrian Sutil, but it looks like Nordic Ninja was the other way around in the wall. Adrian Sutil got sent out spinning by Trulli and then hit Fernando Alonso. All 3 of them retired that day as well. We saw that Hegi Kovalainen fire, but here we go then. Racing is back underway. DRS is enabled, as we go down into turn 4 we go. Papine tries to stick around the outside, but through comes Frank and he takes away P5 from his NLR driver. Your wish is my command, of course. So majority of drivers on the set of soft compound tyres as we head through Ferradura, through turn 6 and turn 7 we go. And look at that, that's Dado Pad getting all out of shape there and under pressure from his teammate. Bit of contact there between Luca and Mira. But Luca is going to go to the inside now. It's turn 10. That's a ghosted car trying to go through somebody. But Ryan had a 1.6 second gap over Thomas Covers. And he's brought it down already towards 8:10. So must have used a lot of battery trying to get himself back in that DRS contention. Here he is then. You can see that 32% battery as well is being used. And by the way, guys, if you want me to turn off the ERS status, do let me know. I'm not quite sure if I allowed it on or not. But here comes Daniel Pad on Pepine as we go down into turn 1. Easy orchestrated turn 1 there. But who's that in the background going, why that's in my mirror? Will it be under pressure now from the driver behind of Luca as we go down the Retro Posture straight? Here we go then. On the straight we goes. Anybody looking to go for an overtake? The all-stay formation. Tom and Morgan Edwards swap places there for P13 and P14. They're both on different tyres, of course, so didn't find that one a bit too hard. But Thomas Covers there, the TTM driver, putting pressure on the NLR man of Ryan immediately then. But that first lap from Ryan, double overtake into turn 1, got himself into the lead, but already under pressure because there's 3 TTM drivers right behind him. And they're all going to work together to try and put Ryan into an uncomfortable territory. And Ryan's got to make sure he stays ahead of them all, which is quite impossible. Actually made that 4 as Frank is in P5. He's not in NLR, he's in TTM. So 4 TTM drivers right behind. This is going to be very comfortable for Ryan in front. As here we go then, it's Thomas Covers looking for a move immediately. As fast as last starts come through, down into turn 1, and Ryan can't do anything about it, of course, so he has to concede defeat and stays in P2. But another opportunity to overtake with the DRS open. Here comes Ryan towards the left hand side we go on the inside line, and he takes back the place immediately. What Ryan's got to do is try at least stay in second place if he can. That's his main target. Try at least stay in second place to try and keep Ryan in front of you with the DRS and overtake him again. But it's going to be difficult because the guys behind will have DRS, use their badge to try and put Ryan further down. And let's say if these guys get ahead of Ryan, it'll be quite difficult for Ryan to overtake because he'll have the same speed down the straight as the rest of them. So tactics have to come into play. And I dare say that the TTM boys are in a comfortable position. But look at that. Ween's putting his teammate under pressure there. Through the middle set, so we go into John Sar once again. Ryan's got himself a comfortable buffer of 6/10 as well. Apologies if I'm talking a bit loudly because the game audio is really loud. I don't know why it is, but here we are then. And this is going to be a double move there, maybe a triple because Ryan's going to be shuffled down into P4 potentially. He's trying to keep P2, but he has to give it away. Pablo versus Ryan then. As we make our way down into turn 3, Ryan's been shuffled down to P3, but will it be P4? Felix Bond has retired from this race. This is a safety car, which might be Ryan's saving grace, and he will stay in P3. There was absolutely nothing Ryan could do on that straight to keep the 2 TTM boys right behind him. That was a good lunge, and now he's really in a difficult place because Ween will stay behind. I think Ween and Covers will exchange positions and Ryan will be staying in P3 if he can't make a move. But whilst the safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try and fix my audio because there's something wrong. Right boys, for some unknown reason I'm not able to change the party audio and the game audio, and as you expect the soft runners are in the pit lane because it's a short lap distance, 18 laps in this Grand Prix, so it makes sense for those people on the soft compound tyres to pit to get rid of them and put on that set medium compound tyres. But the problem is though, with all these people coming in, who is going to double stack right behind their teammates? And there's the double stack there for you. That's why the safety car in some ways is not beneficial for other people because especially when it's early in the race, you'll lose a lot of positions to other people as you're stuck behind your teammate in the pit lane getting service. But that's what that's what McLaren should have done to Oscar Piastri to double stack, because at the Silverstone Grand Prix that just went last weekend, they left Oscar Piastri out, which really cost him during the Grand Prix. The reason why I'm talking about Britain or Silverstone is because the Silverstone race is next up at Brazil, and I thought it would be a good thing to talk about whilst under the safety car. And yeah, McLaren should have double stats because instead of losing 20 seconds by still at one more lap, you can lose 2-3 seconds in the pit lane extra. But obviously Oscar Piastri lost out a lot of time due to that one lap extra. I feel sorry for Oscar Piastri because he had mighty pace. You even saw the pace he had towards the end of the race. He wasn't too far behind the leader either. So I think Oscar Piastri was one of the quickest that weekend too. But wrong place, wrong time, of course. And McLaren's strategy not working in their favours. That's been the downfall, really, hasn't it, this season for McLaren? Just the wrong strategy, although they got it right in Miami. But yeah, Canada was out of control. It wasn't in self-control to do anything about it because of the safety car. But recently, I don't think McLaren have been making the right calls. So NLR Coolman is in the lead because he stayed out there on the medium compound tyres he started on. He's doing medium to soft. The rest of them have pitted. I think they have. I think every single driver has pitted, barring first man of Coolman. So mediums to softs, but I dare say it won't work for him, unfortunately, because he'll lose a lot of time and he won't have the time to make up towards the end of the race to try and get his rivals back, because it is a short race, a 25% race here. Maybe works in the 50% race, but not here in the 25% race, of course. Morgan Edwards down in P15 will have to do the soft stint for 11 or 10 laps. I'm not quite sure how bad the tyre wear is around here. It's not as brutal and punishing as other tracks, so he might be okay. Maybe the safety cars will negate that situation and help his tyre wear. But what a first lap this race was, and there was an action-packed as well with a lot of barging going on. Unfortunately for Nordic Ninja, who got shuffled down into P18 after making contact. I don't know who he made contact with, but he's lost 13 places there, and Coolman's gained 10 because he hasn't pitted so far in this race. So what's the situation? Ryan is in P4. He's stuck behind the TTM boys in P2 and P3. He's got Pablo and the Polishman of Frank in P6 to deal with too. So it looks like Ryan's in a difficult situation here. He's not really able to do anything about it, of course, not having his teammates to be there to support him. The closest NLR driver so far behind him is Daniel Pad, in P7, with Pepine and Luca right behind as well in that trio. But the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap, so Coolman will lead them away. Will he do his teammates any favours? How hard will he defend against Thomas Covers and Ween in P3? We're about to find out now, as the race is green flag once again. So any moves going down into turn one we go. Not so far, but they all get bunched up so close together into turn one between Luca and Carlitos. Here we go, then side by side into two, but Lucas just has the advantage. But up front then, we might see a move for the lead of the race. Coolman goes defensive. Here comes Thomas Covers on the inside into turn four. All big contact, and he almost spun. And that was so close to spinning, but well saved there from Thomas Covers. Now under pressure from his teammate with Ryan boxed in as well. Nowhere to go between these drivers. So Thomas Covers survives again for another day, but it looked like his teammate's defending there from Ryan in P4. Looking to go for a move on the inside, but there's no space on the inside, of course. Dadopad is fighting, I think, with Frank just further behind as well for P6. But Flotman and Luca exchange positions down there in the midfield. Morgan Edwards is up into P14 now as we make our way towards John South. So Coolman, despite being on older tyres, is still in the lead of the Grand Prix. But that was a very, very iffy going down its turn before that was. Thomas Covers now surely will be able to make a move on Coolman, and he does. DRS is enabled as we go down into turn one. Here comes Weed up the inside. Was there a bit of contact between the two as he gets out of shape into turn one? Now Ryan will be pressurising all of the back of that TTM driver. Let's see what he does. Sky9 picks up a 3-second time penalty. We can see the track limits, of course. Here we are heading down into turn four. Here he is up the inside into four. They both make contact, and also makes contact with his teammate, and Coolman is let through. Has been let through, sorry about that. He's let his teammate go of Ryan. Now defended, now contact's made with Pablo. He goes off the circuit, and let's see where he rejoins then. He rejoins in a painful P10, P11 now. So he's lost a lot of places there, unfortunately. Tries to go around the outside, and that will never work, unfortunately. In some occasions it does, but situations like these, I think Coolman already had the race in line. Should he give enough space? Maybe. But anyways, we go down into John Sound. I think Papai's been overtaken by Flopman. Flopman's moved himself up into P7, so nice move there from the former OP driver. But here we are then, a position swap between these two. So as long as these two swap positions, it should be okay. All they've got to do is swap positions. And here comes Frank now, looking to take on the action. He almost overtook there, but he stays in P5. He goes up to P4. I keep thinking Frank's NLR, so I'm keeping on the green cars. I apologize about that one, but Dadopad is now making his way through. Up into P5 he goes. And let's see what's happening further behind. There's Flopman. Overtakes Coolman. As you expect, Coolman is being pushed backwards, as he's on those medium compound tyres, of course, the older medium compound tyres he currently started on. And his race can be very painful, but up the inside, who was that? Was that Dadopad making a move, or was that him defending from Flopman? Either way, he succeeds in his defence and stays in P5. It says NLR, but he's running the same livery as the TTM boys. So is Dadopad in NLR? I think he is. I don't think he's in TTM. Obviously, Flopman and Dadopad used to be in OPs as they swapped teams to NLR. They did really well, Flopman and Dadopad, back in EML. We saw some fantastic battles between OP and ETA. But here we are, into turn 1 we go then. Dadopad looking for a move. He's trying to go around the outside. Into turn 1, has the inside for 2. Almost lost the back end. Can he make it stick? They're going side by side now. Into turn 3 we go. I think they both have DRS the back of the car ahead of him, which they do. So it's a power race all the way down to turn 4. Dadopad is ahead of Frank. A great scrap indeed from Dadopad. A bit of contact was made, but as they say, rubbing is racing and nothing serious. Flopman's up into P5 now as Frank's letting him go, so he believes that Flopman is the fastest driver out of those two, so he's decided to let him go. My voice is going, by the way, so apologies about that one. I really wish to get rid of this cold in the summer, but obviously people like me who suffer from hay fever in the UK are never a good thing. But now we're heading down into Johnstown we go. Looks like one of the TTM drivers is putting big pressure on Coolman as it's on those old medium compound tyres, but keep now Flopman. Here we go then with the DRS open. That's not his teammate. That's Dadopad he's racing. Here we go side by side as we head onto lap 12. Flopman sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Looks like he's really quick at the stage, and he goes around the outside into turn 1. But does he go a bit deep? Yes, he does. There's more contact between the two, and Flopman is not able to get through. He's not able to do the Dadopad like he did on the last lap when he went around the outside of Frank. But Thomas Covers and Wien have swapped places, of course, for P1 and P2, keeping Ryan in P3. Unfortunately for Ryan, he's in a predicament in P3 because the two ahead of him will work together to trade DRS, where he has nobody around him to help him do that. Carlitos under pressure from Coolman. Actually, he's not. He's just overtaken him as he gets pushed down the order even more, unfortunately, for Coolman in P10. Now in my mirror is up the inside. Is that contact? I don't think it was, but gets out of shape. It's turn 10. But anyways, we continue with this scrap for P1. What's Ryan got to do to try and win this race? It's going to be very hard with the guys around him working with each other. He's in a TTM sandwich. In fact, he's got Dadopad right behind him, actually. So Dadopad, with great progress, made his way through the field. But as you expect, these two trading DRS, and they're also saving battery too by harvesting down the straight with the help of the DRS2. So tactics coming into play between those boys. Spies and Coolman swap places, of course. Where is he going to pit? Maybe go for the fast lap of the Grand Prix, try and steal the extra point away. But here we go then. Ryan has got nowhere to go, but he's got the inside line, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. The door's open, but he's not able to go through it, and he has to stay in P3. Looking for every single opportunity to overtake these guys. He's doing a good job in P3 with the help of Dadopad right behind too, try and keep Flopman at bay. And Ryan can think about going forwards now rather than thinking behind him, because before the pit stop phases he had two TTM drivers right behind him, so he had to think about attacking and defending. But at least he's got Dadopad for assurance, and he can think about attacking now rather than looking over his shoulders to see where the other people are. But here we go then, once again on the straight. Is Ryan close enough to make a move on Thomas Covers? Obviously, he doesn't have DRS, so let's see if he takes this opportunity to do it. Maybe these two will slow down in front of him, try and keep him boxed in as Thomas Covers goes to the left-hand side, and through goes Ryan up into P2. Now he's in a sweet spot in P2 there, challenging for the lead of the race. What's he going to do in P2? Will he try and stay behind Ween and try and... No, I worded that wrong, sorry. I couldn't think what I was going to say, but apologies about that one. It's the illness, of course, is stopping me from talking as I want to talk, but Spires are all out of shape. It's turn 4 we go. Danopad is alongside Covers. No, he's not. Looked like he was, due to that graphic on the screen. In my mirror has overtaken Spires up the inside there. Who was that? That's Flotman. A very opportunistic move there. He didn't make it stick, though, but that was a very great lunge indeed. Will he try again? Into turn 10 we go. No, he can't. So what I was about to say is Ryan try and keep Thomas Covers behind, but use Ween for DRS. Maybe that's the tactic he might go for, but it's quite hard because Thomas Covers will try and force Ryan to overtake for the lead of the Grand Prix as he wants to attack him as well. So he's in a bit of a predicament there in P2 is Ryan, but doing a good job so far is the NLR driver. I'm sure his bosses in NLR are happy for him in P2. And here comes Flotman up the inside. Is this going to be contact? Wheel barging, but fair enough as Flotman is looking to get past Danopad, but can't quite do it. He is quick, is Flotman. Don't forget that. Very quick indeed. We saw it in PSG, we saw it in EML as well, and WOR. As we're coming down into turn 4 we go. Is he going to try and go around the outside? He oversteers off the track. Did they make contact? Because Danopad has fallen down into PA, so contact must have been made between those two. But only one survivor, which was Flotman. And now he's up to P4, so this could really hurt Ryan in P2, having those two behind him fighting for P2 and P3. And Danopad unfortunately shuffled down his PA, so contact must have been made for sure. I'm not going to give the verdict out who I think is at fault. It's just one of them things, really. Hard racing, fair racing, it must be said. We did see Flotman oversteer off the track into turn number 4. We couldn't quite see his point of view from Danopad. But here we go then with about 3 laps left to go in this race. And let's see what's going to happen towards the later stages in this Grand Prix. Here comes Thomas Covers up the inside into turn 1. That's a great launch, but Ryan's trying to stick him on the outside. Has the inside out for the next corner. And this battle has lost him a lot of time towards Ween as well. So can he pull away from these two behind? I thought for 1 second that Thomas Covers was going to spin. And in the background, that's Flotman versus Frank. We did see early in this Grand Prix that Frank did let Flotman go, but is Flotman now starts to lose a bit of pace, and Frank might be able to make a comeback on him. Luca is in P6 with Pablo just behind him. So this is not looking good so far for NLR, because in the top 6, majority of them are TTM drivers, but 2 of them are NLR drivers, as the DRS train is further behind with Danopad in P8. It'll be hard to catch from there, especially with 2 laps left to go. Spires has overtaken his teammate of Danopad into turn 10, trying to keep in my mirror behind him for how much longer though. And we'll see as we go down towards Magulio, sorry, as we head down towards now John Sau, still going side by side. We saw Nico Hulkenberg and Carlos Sainz going side by side through that particular part of the section back in 2018. But here we go then for the battle of the lead, and we're heading towards the penultimate lap. I think Ryan is in a good place now on the penultimate lap. If he could try and overtake him going down into turn 1, turn 4 on the next lap, he should have the lead of this race. But actually, Thomas Covers starts to lose a lot of time now towards Ryan. As you can see, Flotman's putting big pressure on him. Will those two be ordered to swap around, of course? In my mirror is still fighting Spires. So here we go then. They both go towards the inside line. As In my mirror takes the place away. He goes up into P9. And let's see if we can try and get Danopad. But the lead of the race will be very intense here on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ryan's in a good place. He's got Ween in front of him. He'll be able to open up that DRS, but where will he overtake? Turn 1 or turn 4? He'll try and get close down into turn number 1, but he'll have to set himself up going down into turn 4 like Lewis Hamilton did back on Max Verstappen back in 2021. And let's see, then gets a good run out of John Sau, using the overtake badge to try and get even closer in attack mode, where Wiener's using it in defense mode. As you can see, the battery is being drained from both drivers. DRS enabled there as Ryan is harvesting, so we'll have to wait for turn number 4. Very crucial for Wiener to get a good run, but who's that going wide? That was Thomas Covers outbreaking himself into turn 1. But here we go then, the main moment in this Grand Prix is about to be settled between these two. Ryan's really close. You can see that Wiener's defending the inside line. Ryan has to go around the outside. He takes the lead of the race. What a great move around the outside. And let's see, this is not over yet because we're seeing plenty over the line finishes moves by people in the past. We saw it back in EML when the top three were covered by about under a tenth. That's how close it can be. So can Wiener just stay behind in these slow speed corners, coming towards the high speed corners now? Can he stay behind, pick up the DRS, get in the slipstream and re-overtake him? This is very important now for Ryan to get a good exit out of John Sao. He did the hard work, but the hard work's not done just yet. He's got a lot of battery in his disposal to use, but this is a very important corner. As you can see, tail happy from Thomas Covers in the background, but I dare say Wiener is going to win this race because he's 2 tenths behind. DRS is enabled. Can he overtake his quite low battery? They go side by side, and it's Wiener who wins the Brazilian Grand Prix just ahead of Ryan there by about 1700ths. He barely had the battery, but he did it. What a race that was. Good respect between the two. I didn't see him making contact once in this Grand Prix other than barging wheels, but that's always the case in league racing. But what a race he won. Looking at the top 4 as well. The top 4 separated by under a second. That's how close it can be in Brazil. So round 1 goes towards TTM. Not over yet, guys. We've still got one more race to go, which is Silverstone, and I can't wait to see what happens there. I want to see what people do in Stowe. Do they lift off or do they brake? Because I saw a video on a hot lap somewhere where people don't brake, they lift off and go through the corner at high speed. So first blood goes towards TTM. Ryan did a fantastic job but just could not defend, and he has to settle for P2. Thomas Covers, great driver P3. The poleman went from P1 to P3. Flopman from 14th to 10th, so 14th to 4th, gained 10 places. So what was he doing during qualifying? Frank finishes P5 ahead of Pablo. Luca in P7. Dadelpad in 8th ahead of Spicer. Pepine, the Dutchman, fills out the top 10. In my mirror in 11th ahead of Nordic Ninja. Plaki, 13th place ahead of Mr. Snipes, who starts in last place. Colitos, 15th place ahead of Morgan Edwards. Coolman 17th, Tom 18th, Sky9 19th, and Phoenix 1, the only one that DNF'd. So I'll take a short break, guys, because as you guys probably know already, and you're sick of hearing me saying it, I am ill again, just to reiterate, because I know some of you are just joining now. So my performance on commentary won't be 100% tonight, as I'm really struggling so far. So just bear with me if I make a few mistakes now and then. It's going to happen. And if I do go silent during the stream, that's because I'm having a coughing fit in the background. I do mute my mic when I'm coughing. But there was no other commentators to fill in for me, so I had to do. Well, I didn't have to do it, but it was a favour. So what a race this was. So I'll go for a short break, guys, and go drink whatever. Go drink your beer, coffee, whatever you drink, and we'll wait for the British GP to start. I know for sure that this time tomorrow, sorry, I'll be having a few beers, watching the England versus Spain game. But we'll see you all in a few moments' time, ready for qualifying in Silverstone, and I can't wait to see what happens on this track, because we always get good league race action around Silverstone. You get Brooklands, Luffield, Stowe, Cops, even Vale, the slow speed corners, and turn 1 and turn 2. So we'll see you all very shortly, and go take a break. I will for sure, my voice needs it. the window. Don't you let out the antidote. Popping pills is all we know. Yeah, in the hills we all know. Don't go through the front door. It's okay at the night show. So don't you open up that window. Don't you let out the antidote. Welcome back to the Silverstone Grand Prix here in Britain. My name is Jamie Morris and we are here for the second social race then. And here we go, coming out of the Plusman corner, about to see a lap from Flotman there. So good race in Brazil, finished in P4, but let's see what he can do here in these tricky conditions here in Silverstone as we head through turn 1 and turn 2. It's still flat in these intermediate conditions as we head down towards turn number 3. Let's see how he negates this really well. Just want to pick up the throttle on the exit of the corners. It can be really difficult as we head down towards turn number 4, and no ABS really helps with the engine braking too, because you're able to slow the car a lot better in comparison to ABS. But here we go down into Luffield and Brooklands then, one of the most favourite places to overtake around here, as you can go side by side through the entirety of this section. You can see the back of the car just stepping out there as he short shifts into 4th gear then, really gently playing with the throttle there to see where he can pick up the traction, and off he goes there. There's a few people out on the soft compound tyres, surely not? Yeah, they are. So that's really interesting. Maybe it's one of the early stages of qualifying to do that, so I shouldn't be surprised. But anyways, here we go, coming towards Maggotts and Beckett's, and you can see him lifting off to the second bar of Beckett's as it is flat out through the corner as we go through Chapel now, which can be quite difficult, especially on the exit. But there's somebody off the track there. That somebody, I think, is on an outlaw, so maybe get another way. But here comes Flotman now, making his way towards Stowe as we reach the high speed corner. We go, and down on the brakes. He barely brakes going into Stowe, even in the wet conditions. He barely touched the brake, and that's what I mean when you can see that deployment's already been used there. So he's really using that battery, is Flotman, using the overtake button to get more power on the straights. But here we go, the first lap time is about to be set with a 36.2. And is that good enough to beat, I wonder, as Morgan Edwards goes into P2. Had a difficult qualifying back in Brazil, but here in Silverstone, is it going to be a contrast for him? We can see that a few people are evaluating their lap times. Nordic Ninja, the man who fell down backwards in the race after getting taken out by one of the TTO drivers. Let's see if we can try and make a recovery driver. Sky9 goes to P3, 3 seconds off the pace, so obviously not where he wants to be. Could have been an exploited lap time. And Oliveira, welcome mate, nice to see you in the chat, representing his teammate Carlitos in a P7, who is still in the pit lane. Already 5 minutes have gone in this session. That's how quickly time flies around here. As we make our way now into Stowe for Nordic Ninja then, as we make our way into the right hander, we go at turn 15 as Felix Von puts his car into P3. And it's a 37.4, so not looking for the time he needs, but he did struggle in Brazil. Maybe not used to the game yet, is Felix One. Hasn't really found his pace or rhythm. But here comes Nordic Ninja, making his way towards the line. He goes up into P3 with a 37.0. Daddlepad is P2, but Frank beats the time by a tenth, and he goes into P1. He had great pace back in Brazil. Finished around P4, P5, and Ryan goes into P3 with a 36.3, and he's 2/10 just further behind and shy of what Frank has managed to do. The reason why I'm not really going on board with people, because when I go on board with somebody, the audio is very loud, so that's why I'm not going on board with people. If you want me to go on board with them, please tell me. I don't hesitate to tell me either, because I will do it, but it's just really hard to hear myself think and talk at the same time. But we've still got people left to set a lap time. One driver has disappeared from this session. Who is it? So one driver is out of this session. I can't tell who it is, so whoever that was, maybe they've got internet connection issues or something like that. But here we go to Megan Beckett's on board with Coolman in the green and a purple car representing NLR, which is their brand of colour, of course, green. I'm sure Lars van der Linden is looking on for his drivers as well. 9.4 in the middle sector there for Coolman in P12, as In My Mirror goes into P1 with a 35.8, so that's a good lap time. Will the session get better? Will the conditions ease off? And will we see the soft compound tyres being used? However, Carlitos and Wiener are on the soft. No, they're not. Sorry about that. Just ignore me. A bit of a brain moment there, but something's going on down here as Kurma goes into P1 with a 35.8. So he's 6 thousandths quicker than In My Mirror. Papine, great lap from him in P3, goes P3 in the Dutchman, and NLR will be happy with his progress, I'm sure of it too. We still got more people to make an appearance on the timing boards. NLR Tom on the intermediate tyres, here we are, then making his way out of Stowe. And he did struggle to set a lap time in the early stages or the late stages of qualifying, but managed to hook a lap up together. As we make our way now out of the final corner we go, and Tom goes up into P9 inside the top 10. And the best thing about the wet conditions is you can go for multiple runs on the same set of the intermediates or wet condition, because the tread, it doesn't heat up as much as the soft compound tire. It doesn't really overheat, so you can go for multiple laps on the same set as well. And plus, if you have the battery, and obviously when in the wet conditions you don't use a lot of battery because you're not on the full throttle majority of the times, although we do have overtake being introduced, because we did see that Daddlepad did use the battery up before club, which is about turn 16. We're coming towards the end of the first sector, 30.1, and currently sat in P18 so far. So with half the session gone, he hasn't set a lap time just yet, so keep an eye on what he could do. But cool, man, a contrast for him, a difficult qualifying in Brazil, but here capitalising on the wet conditions. As we can see, the yellow flags in the middle sector, that glitch needs to go away with that yellow flag, because it is really annoying, that flashing yellow flag on the timing towers. But now making our way towards Maggett and Beckett and Chapel, one of the iconic corners on this circuit here, and the general, of course. A 9.5 for him in the middle sector. Is that good enough for the likes of Kuhlman, In My Mirror and Papine, who occupy the top three? In My Mirror, of course, representing TTM, so he's in the NLR sandwich in P2 there. But we'll see if one of his TTM drivers can join up the field. And as you can see, that Lucas left the session, unfortunately. Tom goes quickest and pulls half a second between himself and Kuhlman. Here comes Wiener now making his way towards the corner. He goes into P4 then, so that's 7 tenths away from what Tom did. Got to say, that's a mega lap time there for Tom in P1. But are these conditions going to ease up? Are the soft compound tyres going to be used? Nordic Ninja has invalidated in that first sector. He's currently a 10th down anyway in that first sector, so a miserable lap for him on his second or fourth attempt. He's on the same set of inters, of course, so he's going for multiple runs. But look at Pablo there, some 4 tenths up in that middle sector. So this lap time, if we can keep it nice and tidy, will ensure his top 10 spot, and also get inside the 35s where majority of drivers are. In fact, majority of drivers are in the 36s and only a few in the 35s, like it was in Brazil, as Pablo makes his way towards P3. Can you invite NLR Luca Lip? Of course I can, Harley. Anything for you, mate. Tell Luca Lip to send me a friend request. It should be X_Indigo, my PSN. Oh, that was so close there. Who was that? Who was that going through? Hopefully he was. Yeah, it looked very sketchy there. Hopefully whoever went through wasn't on a lap time. But no further done damage. No further done damage. No damage further done. You know what? I'm struggling to speak here. I don't even know if I'm making sense of that anymore. But Thomas Covers goes into P2. Daddlepad is making his way towards the middle sector. He's going to be up by 1.4 seconds. Wow, but he's currently in P13. Morgan Edwards goes into P2, so the track evolution around here. And Flotman goes into P1 now in the 34s. The track is ramping up. The time's getting better. The driver's confidence are also improving. So expect a massive change here in Silverstone with about 6 minutes left to go in this session. Here comes Daddlepad making his way around the final corner. Is he going to take pole? I think he is. Yes, he is. It's a 34.8 for him. And he's currently a 10th quicker than Flotman in P2. So towards the end of qualifying, watch these times tumble down, as going to be very interesting. I don't think the soft compound tyres will be introduced in this qualifying because it's still raining. And I don't think the conditions will ease up anytime soon. But these drivers find a lot of times getting more confident as they go through the corners, carrying more speed, braking later too. Frank in that middle sector, 8.5. And Spicer now goes quickest with a 34.7, a tenth ahead of Dadopad, or just under a tenth, only about 200 separate those two. From P1 to P2, but here comes Frank now, the Polishman, making his way towards Club. Let's see what he could do. He's on a great lap time so far. Maybe try and slash away pole. If we could try and keep it nice and tidy in this last corner. Here we go then. What's it going to be for Frank? And it's pole! Wow, by about 1,200 separate Frank and Spicer for P1 and P2. A very good lap time. But now it's taken back by the TTM driver of Wiener, who goes back on pole with a 34.6. So these drivers keep exchanging lap times. And I thought 35 was good, but 34 is even better. Here comes Coolman, making his way towards Stowe. Just a slight lift off, using no EOS, although he's 3/10 up in the first sector. I don't think he's on a lap time, because he's turned his EOS off, so maybe he made a mistake somewhere. But look at it in my mirror, 1 second up in that middle sector there. And he needs to find a bit more time in the last sector if he wants to try and snatch pole away from his teammate in P1. Here he is, then a bit of traffic he will encounter, but hopefully they don't distract him too much in terms of aerodynamic performance. But here's Ryan, P1, in my mirror goes P2. So it was Ryan who was on a flying lap. He goes up into P1, in my mirror P2. And now Papine, I was about to go on board with him to try and find him. Papine takes pole, it's a 34.0. These lap times keep tumbling down. The track's getting better, of course. We've got 4 minutes left to go in this qualifying session, and also my voice is going too. So apologies about my voice, but I'm trying my absolute best. Is anybody out there to try and beat Papine's lap time? Looks like Ryan, I think he's going for a flying lap on his current best. Let's see what he's going to do. He is using the battery, but although he's quite low on fuel, so will he dive back into the pit lane because he might not have enough fuel left in his tank to try and go for one more lap? We are coming towards the dying stage of qualifying as Ryan flicks his way in towards Maggins and Beckers and Chapel. Look at the speed he's carrying even in these wet conditions. Is that a spinner? I thought I saw somebody spin. Maybe they just went out wide. But he's 9/10 down, so it doesn't matter anyway. Thomas Cover, 2/10 up in the first sector. And we'll see then where can he try and place his car. TTM driver who was up there in Brazil, as he makes his way now coming towards Cops. It's a slight lift off though, so not flat out just yet in Cops. But we are seeing majority of drivers now making their way out of the circuit, ready for the final stages in qualifying. I can't wait till commentary is over because my voice, a bit of oversteer out of the corner of Chapel, but it doesn't affect him too badly. It's an 8.3 in that middle sector, so I think he needs to find a bit more time in the last sector. And Coolman goes pole with a 33.9 now. It's an NLR 1, 2, 3. Coolman, Papine, and Ryan. That's the top three, but maybe Thomas Covers will have something to say about that one. Maybe splitting up the NLR boys. We're about to find out in 2 corners time. Where can he go? He goes P6 then, so not the lap time he's looking for. Plaki, who struggled in Brazil, currently up there in P5 so far, so great attempt from him. He's got one more lap left as Plaki. Nordic Ninja out of the first sector he goes. We can't quite see, but I think, he's not on a lap time either. Sky 9 is coming through turn 1 and turn 2. Currently sat in P18 with a 36.4. That's the lap time you want to be setting towards the early stage of qualifying. Carlitos currently sat in 19th place, also known as last place. And now coming towards the end of the first sector, 3/10 down, unfortunately for him. So I think majority of drivers then, some of them are still in the pit lane. I think some of them need to get a move out here because they might not make it towards the line. Dadopad is still in the pit lane. Where is he? Is he coming out of the pit lane now? I think he is, He's left it really late as Dadopad. There he is, coming out of the pit lane. And look at that, I don't think Dadopad is going to make it towards the line. So I think his qualifying is done and dusted, unfortunately. So he's left it really late. I'm trying to find a driver who's on a flying lap. Who's closest towards the line in this group? I'm trying to find out who. Nordic Ninja is not on a lap time, but he is going for another flying lap. So we'll stay on board with Nordic Ninja, as he's one of the closest ones out there. It's quite hard to find the drivers where they are, because obviously it's not the F1 cars. It's much easier to identify who's who. But obviously we've got multiplayer cars, so we're not quite sure where other people are. But as we head down towards turn 3 then, and let's see how it takes it. Look at that, playing with the throttle a bit too much there as he power slide out of the corner, drifting, and here we go, through aim tube we go, flat out left-hander onto the Wellington straight. Let's see what his first sector is. His first sector is going to be a 29.5, so he's 2.5 tenths up in that sector, but obviously he needs to find a lot more time than that if he wants to get anywhere close towards pole, because he's currently 9 tenths away from pole position so far. So Coolman is sitting in the garage on the sidelines watching to see if anybody takes pole away. I think Coolman could be watching the stream to see what's going to happen, as majority of drivers are out there so far. Only one driver who isn't out there is the pole man sitting in the pit lane, like Sebastian Vettel was back in 2013 in Singapore, to see who could take pole away from him. Nordic Ninja, the best middle sector we've seen is an 8.2. What's he going to do? An 8.0. But I think the middle sector's quicker than that. So anyways, here we are going down the stair. Where is Nordic Ninja going to put his car? Can he join his teammates in P1, P2 and P3? So far, NLR dominating this one in qualifying. As we make our way down towards Vale we go. Any more time left in his pocket in these slow speed corners? Try and snatch back. Pablo goes into P2. Here comes Nordic Ninja. What's going to be? It's P4 for Nordic Ninja. And Frank, the Polishman, goes into P1 with a 33.9. That's pole for the time being. Then we've got plenty more action to come, because we've got a lot of drivers out there so far. Atomic Covers, P6. Nordic Ninja, Costa go P5. Flopman takes pole away with a 33.8 then. But what can Papine do? He's been rather quick here in qualifying in Silverstone. He's a 10th up in the first sector, and Spies now goes quickest with a 33.6. What's Papine going to do? Papine is 5 tenths up as Wiener goes back towards the top. It's a 33.5 and responds immediately towards Spicer, the highest NLR driver in P2. But we've still got Papine left to go. Ryan now goes into P2, separated by 600. In my mirror goes P4. But one more driver left, and 2 actually. Here comes Papine. What can the Dutchman do? Is he going to be pole? It is! It's pole from Papine. He takes it away at the very last moment. And what a lap time indeed for the NLR driver. He struggled in Brazil, but make a statement here in Silverstone, no doubt about it, of course. Look at the gaps. So I think NLR have got the upper hand here in Silverstone. The upper hand went towards TTM, as they had the right drivers in the right place to try and attack Ryan. But here, the advantage has swung the other way around, and the pendulum might swing towards NLR's way. We're about to find out. Join us for the race. It should be interesting. Do you know what? I saw a glimpse of someone or 2 people setting the exact same lap time. So I think some people have got the exact same lap time. I just caught a glimpse of it before the screen went off. But it is a cloudy Silverstone. This is typical British weather. For those people who do not live in the UK, this is the weather for you. It is not been hot at all in the UK, other than that 1 week we had a sun and that's it. It's been raining majority of it. So not the British summer we've been hoping for. 2 years ago in Britain, we had a big heat wave. Temperatures went up to 42 degrees, the highest I've ever seen it go. But here, it is, in the UK, absolutely miserable. Rain, cloud all the time, barely any sun. If that's summer, what's winter going to provide us? I am sick of the summer in Britain here, because it's absolutely shocking. I think I'd rather move to a different country now. Even though we're in July, the best weather has came early June. Welcome to my world. Let me read that full comment. Let me go back on my stream because I can only see part of it. James Head, I will respond to you. Don't you worry, mate. Welcome to my world. I live up the north. Yeah, I live up the north too, but not as north as you. So I bet you have bad weather up there. Sorry, Harley, mate. I did see your comment. I can't invite Luca, unfortunately. So, Luca, apologies, mate, if you're listening. Somebody tell him I can't invite him because I don't have him as a friend. It is crossplay, and unfortunately, he's not on my friends list. So, sorry, Luca, mate. You have to sit this one out. But no formation lap, and the lights are about to go out. Right now, we are underway for the British GP. It has Wiener got a best start. There's a spinner. There's a crash already. And that looks like it's one of the TTM drivers. Pablo is out of the race. But Pepine and Wiener going side by side as we head down towards turn 3. And it looks like Wiener has stayed ahead of Pepine. But what happened there? Pablo, Nordic Ninja, has lost his end plate. 3 drivers got involved in that contact. And that's not going to end well as Snipers has picked up a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So the VSC and Nordic Ninja 2 has also picked up a 10-second time penalty. So a huge crash in the midfield. We haven't seen a massive crash like that since like 2022 here in Silverstone with Joe Guan Yu, George Russell, Pierre Gasly. When was the last time we had a proper crash at the start of the race, like when the lights went out? Was it like Nico Hulkenberg in Singapore when Carlos Sainz came across? But anyways, we go racing once again, and the 2 NLR boys are right behind. There's no way to go side by side. Yes, they are, and he spun him. No, he hasn't. He almost spun him, and that was so close there to Wiener losing him. But Pepine, the Dutchman, getting his muscles out and giving him the shove. And he takes the lead into Magnus and Beckers. You don't see moves there, but he did it. But immediately responds back. Does Wiener. He goes back into P1 in Stowe. And says, thank you very much. I'll take first place away from you. But into club, Pepine does not go for the move. But down the inside is one of the TTM boys. Is that in my mirror going for a move? On Tom, I think it was. Let me get the telemetry up indeed to make sure I don't get confused. So, interesting first lap we got. DRS is enabled immediately on lap 2 as we get racing once again. It is a short race out here in Silverstone. The 2 NLR boys are Ryan and Pepine working in harmony to try and get the best result they can. NLR, oh, there's contact. That's 2 NLR boys making contact. And you know what? Wiener might fancy a chance of trying to break the DRS. What on earth happened there between the 2 NLR boys? Pepine and Ryan making contact, something you don't really see when it comes to teamwork. But Ryan wants to take second place immediately away. He was one of the contenders back in Brazil, but here in Silverstone, also contenders. Daniel Pan and Snipers going side by side in Luffield, and Daniel Pan looks like he's won that battle, but Snipers is trying to fight back. Now Morgan Edwards all over the back of him. They go side by side, and let's see if Morgan Edwards can get ahead. They go side by side into Cops right now. Morgan has the outside line. Can he take it away from Snipers? I don't think he can. Yes, he has now. He moves himself up into P14 and ahead of Snipers. He has got a 10-second time penalty. Unfortunately, it has Snipers, but here we go, the DS enabled. This could be a double overtake from NLR. There's 3 abreast, and Pepine and Ryan are back in P1 and P2, but no! Wiener goes back around the outside and says, thank you very much again, I'll take P2 away from you. Great defensive skills going on there, great attacking skills. Koolman and In My Mirror in a battle for P6 and P7. As Ryan says the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Bear with me for a few seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go and cough. My voice was going. I got a sore throat and a bad cough. Oh, what's happened there? Was that Tom getting out of shape? Yes, it was Tom. And now Koolman has gone right past him. But here we go, back for the battle for B1. There's Wiener trying to go around the outside into Brooklands. He'll have the inside line for the next corner. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Will Ryan try and keep some momentum going? Try and keep it around the outside. No, he can't because Wiener has the racing line. So this is great from Wiener because he's under massive pressure. But here comes Ryan once again. Are they about to go side by side into Cops? No, Ryan overtakes him into Cops and puts himself back into P1. But this is great racing so far between the boys at the front of the field, getting so intense there. And Wiener is in a NLR sandwich It's the reverse. It's the reverse of the British GP, but here we go. It's 3 abreast once again, and Wiener goes around the outside. Here comes Pepine on his own teammate. He goes off the track and goes up into P2. Do you know what? I'm surprised. Oh, there's contact there. It's Thomas Covers, who's lost his end plate. He made contact all over the back of Tom. Yeah, broke himself going into Vale. As Frank has retired in the pit lane, so his race is done and dusted. Somebody is slowing down. Looks like it's in my mirror. So in my mirror has lost a bit of bodywork and unfortunately suffering from the lack of downforce. As he's under massive pressure, left, right, centre, and he's spun. That was inevitable because 3 drivers into 1 corner never works out. Some occasion it does, but a corner like turn 3, he couldn't make it stick, unfortunately. It's a shame because to let people go, they got spun out immediately. But here we go down into Luffield. I'm surprised these NLR boys are fighting so hard. This is supposed to be a team event. It's not a driver championship. But so far, NLR have the advantage. They've got the cars in the exact same spots they wanted to be. It's like the contrast to Brazil where it was TTM with the advantage on NLR in terms of car positions. But here in Silverstone, the pendulum has swung towards NLR's way. We go down the hanging straight once again on board with Ryan and Pepine, and here we go then. It's going to be another double overtake again. And Wiener has the inside line. Do you know what? Wiener's they make contact there, go off the track together, and we'll see what happens down into Vale. Can Wiener try and stick around the outside into Club? Yes, he can. But do you know what? You got to give respect to Wiener because nobody's attacking skills are good, but his defensive skills are good too. The guys behind have DRS on him, and his defensive skills have been absolutely admirable so far. Very clean indeed, no contact between the two. Yes, as you can tell, my voice has gone. Got a sore throat, unfortunately, so my commentary won't be as good as anymore. But here we go on the Wellington Straight, going down into Brooklands. Wiener's not able to make the move on Ryan ahead of him, but he's pushed him through Luffield, and he might try and go down the inside now. Yes, he does. Side by side into Woodcut. Which one of these two will have to yield going into Cops here? We're about to find out right now. Let's see. Side by side into Cops, and Wiener has taken the lead away from Ryan. But once again, Wien finds himself in a DRS sandwich, with the guys behind having DRS all over the back of them. The top 5, a massive slide out of Chapel. The top 5 separated by under a second, and I dare say the TTM driver got absolutely swamped by these two again. He's in the exact same place, but he's able to swing around the outside like he is right now. Into Stowe we go. He goes off the track, but still able to keep the advantage. He takes back the lead of the race because one of the NLR boys had pitted. Ryan. If it comes to it, I might have to stop talking because my sore throat is getting really bad. So if I do stop talking, I'm really sorry. I try my best. It's difficult to talk. But Ryan has picked himself up a 10-second time penalty in the pit lane, and that's going to be detrimental towards his race now. And yeah, nice comment there from Tator. It says NLR trying to use every possible error to lose this. They got the advantage, haven't they? They got the car advantage, second, third, and fourth, and fifth. But somehow Wiener is able to stay in P1. Every time they go for a move, he's able to take one of them back and stay in second place. If that was me, I'd be crumbling under pressure. Left, right, and centre, of course. But these guys are professional. Some of them know what they're doing, especially the man in P1. He's done a fantastic job from attacking and defending. Bit out of shape there. Look at that, the car wobbling as we head onto the Hanger Street. Actually, he's a ghost. He's ghosted. And Pepine now takes the lead of the race, and Spicer goes into second place. Why on earth was he ghosted for? But will these guys pit to respond to Ryan? Yes, they do. One of them stays out there. And Sky now picks up a 10-second time penalty. Actually, a 3-second time penalty, sorry. So one of the NLR boys has stayed out there to go for another lap on the set of soft compound tyres. But watch out for Ryan then. He's the main man we want to look out for. Where is he? He's currently in P7. There he is. They're going into Stowe. This is a long pit lane, of course. You don't want to be doing 2 stops. Saying that in the 50% race as well. As we make our way now towards the last 3 corners, where is Ryan going to rejoin in comparison to this? Has the undercut worked for him? But still up there 1 lap earlier. As we make our way now towards turn 1 and turn 2. Has he got ahead of his competitors? Here we go. And the question is answered, which is yes, he has. So the undercut has worked, but he has got a 10-second time penalty to go with it. So the job's not done yet. It is really hard to pull a 10-second time, pull out 10 seconds. It's even hard to pull out 5 seconds, never mind 10 seconds. Because of the DRS trains and everybody's sticking close together. So I think Ryan might have to be used as a guinea pig now to try and keep the likes of Wiener behind. That's the only way NLR is going to... Well, I say that. They've got multiple ways of winning this Grand Prix in terms of tactics and teamwork. But I dare say NLR should tell Ryan to be a guinea pig. It's a legitimate penalty. He's not going to win the race because he's spent in the pit lane. So what I would do is I'd tell NLR, well, NLR should tell him to defend against Wiener in P5. Keep the TTM boys behind. That's the way to go. There's no point fighting your teammates and slowing them down. As here we go on the straight then. Is Papine close enough to make a move on his teammate? No, he's not. But they're all in DRS range of each other as Coolman is in the pit lane to get rid of his soft compound tyres. Once again, we go into Vale. There's only about 6 laps left to go in this Grand Prix, so not many laps left to go in this race. But so far, surely NLR have the advantage. You would think NLR will have the advantage with track position ahead of TTM. But Carlitos, Flotman, Wiener are looking very quick, so don't discard them out, as anything could happen. I think one of us been in overtake. Yes, they have. So Wiener is up to P4. That's because Coolman always contact there. The TTM driver getting closer towards Spicer. But Coolman, he's not too far behind considering he pitted quite late. So he got a tyre advantage over the rest of the field there. But surely NLR have this in the bag. There's no way they can lose this Grand Prix. And here he is, off the inside into Luffield. There's a bit of contact between the two. But Spicer, there's more contact as well. Spicer tries to run wheels there with Wiener. Wiener's trying to get his way through. And he's done it. He's up into P3 now. Back ahead of Spicer. If he wins this race, that would be one of the best races he's had, because he's got NLR boys surrounded by him. There's surely NLR can win this race. But anyways, here comes Papine on his own teammate. That's an easy swap there, no competition. But here is Spicer, and look at that, tries to defend. Is Wiener, has the outside line, he will carry the speed around the outside. And once again, he defends beautifully, but no, Spicer up the inside. It's a club, they make contact, and he goes off the track. He stays ahead, he clatters the curb. Now he goes off the track, and through goes Coolman. Up into P4 he goes, he overtakes Spicer, and Wiener too. So those two make contact there. And unfortunately, Wiener's dropped himself down to P5. Has he got bodywork damage? Because he clattered the car, he clattered the curb really hard. I dare say he might have a bit of damage, you know. There's no evident damage on the front wing, but the car is behaving weirdly, being pushed against the curb. Go back, people who are just watching right now, go back about 30-40 seconds, because you missed out on a really important moment in this race where things might have changed. And that's the whole trajectory this race is going. So look at that, top 4, NLR, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, NLR, TTM, sorry. But hopefully Wiener hasn't got any... Yes, he's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so any chance of winning is over. But here comes his teammate and overtakes Papine. Here comes Thomas now, overtakes Flotman, goes up into P6, so changes there. And this should be an easy NLR victory unless any of these drivers can respond. He's back in the fight, is TTM Wiener. Do you know what, with Wiener and Spicer fighting into... club, I think it is. That reminded me of Lewis Hamilton, Leclerc and Perez moment. I even said through goes Coleman. I didn't even think about that at all now. But here he is up the inside into turn 4 through the loop section. He's got him. It was a short pass, but had to make it stick as we go through entry now. Both have DRS at the back of their rivals, and Spicer, when he come back on him, no, he's too far behind. Do you know what? Despite being surrounded by NLR drivers, you got to hand it to Wiener. He's not giving up whatsoever. He's really pushing these drivers into uncomfortable territory. Despite all the things they thrown at him, he's able to respond to all these guys coming at him. Flat out through course we go, making the run down towards Maggis, Beckett's and Chapel, iconic circuit corners. As the DRS will be enabled then on this lap. Looks like Ryan's got a bit deep into the exit of Chapel there, so might give his teammate a bit of a helping hand, and he puts himself back into P1 again. Further behind, that's Flotman and Covers swapping places. And there's yellow flags further down. Looks like it might be Snipez who's gone for a spin, but look at that, sliding to the breaker zone was Ryan. The rear brakes locking up going to club, which caused him to half spin the car. And Spicer once again putting pressure on Wiener. Doesn't go down the inside, although he goes a bit deep into turn 3 as we head through the loop. Spicer will have a great shot at the TTM driver in front of him. And let's see, out of the loop we go into A-Tree, DRS enabled once again. And let's see if Wiener will be under pressure with Spicer. Will Spicer go to the inside into Brooklands? He can't do so for the time being, so he has to stay behind him. There's 3 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Do you know what? I wish we did one race, a 50% race around here in Silverstone, because you always get some fantastic action around Silverstone. I'm not discounting. There we are then, side by side once again, but they don't. They end the battle right there. I'm not discrediting Brazil. Brazil is a fantastic track to battle too, but Silverstone is just on another level. Maybe because of my biasness around here in Silverstone. Although I don't like racing around this circuit because it's not one of my favourite circuits. I do struggle around here. But anyways, we go to Stowe we go, and they're all in DRS contention. Who's that off the track? Who was just? I think somebody just went off the track there. I'm not quite sure who that was. Is it Daniel Pad? Sky 9? Somebody just flew off the track there where Perez crashed in 2021. I haven't done that for a long time, crashed in that corner. I think it was Sky 9, you know, who crashed. Penultimate lap in this race. NLR are on course to win this race. They lost out Brazil on the line, but this time they have the advantage in terms of track position and penalties towards Wiener's name as well. Oh, up the inside goes Flotman on Spicer, but not able to make it stick. They make a contact there, banging wheels to Flotman and Spicer out of the corner into Adrian. It's getting a bit personal now between the two, constantly banging wheels between each other. This is a social race, remember. It's not a championship fight, but these guys fighting for pride on the circuit. None of them willing to yield, of course. Elbows out all the way to the end. Making that unscathed, so neither driver off the track with a spin, thankfully. Keep it that way until the end, please, boys. But heading through Cops right now. Wiener's in P4. No chance for him for a podium either. He's just fighting for pride on the circuit. Once again, Ryan's all over the back of Papine as those two will trade DRS on the hanger straight. And Ryan re-overtakes his teammate. And what about Corman who's P3? So I think Papine might be double overtaken here, which he has been. And around the outside goes Ryan now to take P1. Oh, is that contact? Is that a spin? It is a spin, but who is it? That's Coolman, who was spun. And there goes the TTM boys, side by side. That's Flotman. Flotman is up into P3 on the final lap. Flotman went from P6 to P3 in a matter of corners. This could change, you know, in the last lap of this race. Wiener needs to back off. He can't afford to fight his own teammate because his teammate has got a penalty. I don't know why Wiener's putting his pressure on the teammate there, because he has to back off to allow his teammates to catch the top two. This has changed things now. Due to that contact and spin. Do you know what? NLR have really cost themselves. I don't know why, to be honest with you. They've cost themselves a lot. I think they're still going to win because they've got their top two there, helping each other with the DRS, of course. But they're throwing away every single obstacle in the way, or NLR. And here we go then. Flotman, what's he going to do in the final lap of the Grand Prix? He hasn't got enough battery left to try really do anything about it of Flotman and Ryan there. Sorry, Pepine and Ryan. Unless, of course, something major happens into Stowe. But here we are, they're coming through Maggots and Beckett as we go. What's going to happen going down into Stowe? We're about to find out in a few moments' time. Then these two will have back the DRS on the back of Ryan. DRS is enabled on the hanger straight. Pepine will overtake his teammate, but here comes Flotman. Flotman's a bit too far behind to make an overtake, so Pepine should have this in the bag. Unless, of course, it's a last lap dive from Flotman to go into P2 on Vale. No then, so nothing major will happen on the final lap of this Grand Prix. But NLR, the pendulum is swung towards their way as Pepine comes across the line to win the British GP here in Silverstone, with Flotman finishes in P2 thanks to Ryan's penalty. Ahead of Thomas Covers in P3, Spicer in 4th ahead of Daddlepad in 5th, Carlito 6th ahead of Wiener, Felix 1 8th ahead of 9th, and Coleman in P10, Ryan in P11, 12th goes Tom, Skyline 13th, Morgan Edwards 14th, Northern Ninja 15th, Snipers 16th place. Anyways, but I hope you enjoyed that race. It was really difficult to commentate. I hope I gave my best to you. I hope you all enjoyed the stream and the action. But my voice has completely gone. My sore throat has now reached another level, so I can rest my voice now. And thank you for inviting me to the social race between these two teams. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate once again. And there is the trophy lifted up for Pepine. The Dutchman, he wins here in Silverstone. I hope you all enjoyed that, and yeah, we'll see you all whenever. Enjoy the weekend, of course, and for the Brits in this group chat, in the Brits in the comments chat, hopefully England take away the victory. My name is Jamie Morris, or known as Indigo, and I have been your commentator and host for these past two races. I'll see you all whenever. Have a good weekend, and take care.